Kuf Hamid Beis, we're 12 lines from the bottom, Amr of Sheshis. So we're introducing a sheet of Rav Sheshis, which is going to take us to one sugya, lead to another sugya, which is basically every Gemara in Shas. So the Gemara says, Amr of Sheshis. Rav Sheshis says as follows. HaKofer b'pikadon. Just to quickly review the halacha is that if I give you an object to watch, and then I say, can I have it back? And you say, it was stolen. And you lie about it, that's called Kofer b'pikadon. The halacha is that if you lie and admit, then you have to return the item at a fifth and bring a carbon. If you lie and then Eidim come, you pay kefil. That's called kofer b'pikadon or toyin tainis ganef. There's different incentives. Says the Gemara like this, a very big chiddush. Omer sheishes hakofer b'pikadon. Merely saying that it was stolen, even if you don't lie under oath, but you claim that it was stolen, chayiv nasa gazlin v'chayiv ba'insin. It's a big chiddush. See, because in the Torah, it's describing swearing under oath. What if you, like I said, if you're my shomer and I ask for the item back and you say it was stolen, I take you to court and you lie under oath, we know what the halachas are. You have to, if you admit, you pay a chaimish and a carbon. If you Eidim come, you pay kefil. That's known. The question is, he never lied under oath. But I go to his house and I say, hey, can I have the item? And you're like, it was stolen. Says Rav Sheshis, merely claiming it was stolen, even without an oath, is enough to make you a gazlan. And you're chayiv ba'insin. Now, what's the difference in a gazlan and a shomer? Are you chayiv ba'insin? A shomer chinam is potter, but the second you claim, merely claiming, is a big chiddush, that even without a shvua, you already become a gazlan and you're chayiv ba'insin. How do I know this? V'tanatuna, and the brisa really indicates it, because the brisa says, v'kichashba, a person denies it, lamanu einish. He is going to be punished, meaning he's a gazlan right away. Now notice, it does not say anything about a shvua. Azhar menayin, how do I know there's a lav? Now, so you see that this brisa is saying that a kofer b'pikadon gets punished. Now, it doesn't say anything about a shvua. My lav la'onish kfira, is the brisa not referring to a situation where merely denying it, merely saying it was stolen, merely lying, not even under oath, you become a ganef, a gazlan. So the Gemara says, no, loy. La'inyin la'oinish shvua. The Gemara says, no, perhaps you're not a gazlan. Perhaps merely claiming that it was stolen is nothing. When the brisa says that you'll be punished, that's talking about an oinish shvua. It means you'll be punished if you swear under oath. But if you don't swear under oath, maybe it's nothing. So again, this Rav Sheshis is mechadish, that claiming the item is taken, that claiming the item was stolen, even without a shvua, you become a gazlan. And we brought a braya because the brisa says you'll be punished, and the brisa doesn't say anything about a shvua. So it says no, you'll only be punished if you made a shvua. Okay, here's the problem. That second part of the brisa, and this brisa brings psukim. It's lo v'kichashba, lo yisachachashu. The problem is, you're telling me that brisa, which all the psukim, is only referring to a case where you lied under oath. Before lying under oath is nothing, it's ephes. Here's the problem. The brisa then continues by bringing more psukim, which clearly indicates, so now you have two sets of psukim in the brisa, a reish and a seifa. Now the seifa is talking about where you lied under oath. Isn't the Reisha then not talking about lying under oath? Merely denying it, merely claiming it was stolen without a shvua? Because if the Reisha and Sefer are both talking about a shvua, what do you need both cases for? We need both psukim for. Says the Gemara, Hamditani Sefer, but look at the end of the Brisa. The Ishtava, the end of the Brisa talks about a case where the Shomer Chinam lies under oath. Mechlal, the Reisha lo Ishtava. The implication is then that the beginning of the Brisa is talking about where he didn't lie, but merely koifer b'pikad nasa gazlan. Diktani Sefer, because what does the end of the Brisa say? V'nishbal sheker, if you swear falsely, laman einish, then you're punished with again a chaimish, and you have to return the item and a chaimish and bring a carbon. Azhar menayin, what's the law for swearing falsely when you're a shomer chinam? So right now, again, Rav Sheshis is mechadish that if a shomer chinam merely denies having the item, even if he doesn't swear, he's a gazlan. And we brought a raya because the brisa says that you're punished for acting unethical. So we said, no. The brisa is talking about a case where you swore falsely. You're only punished if you swear falsely. Here's the problem. The Sefer is talking about swearing falsely. So you're talking about the Reish and the Sefer are talking about both swearing falsely. What do you need both for? So the Gemara says, I'll tell you why I need both. Amri, really it could be that by merely denying the item, by just saying that it was stolen without swearing, you won't get punished at all. You're not a gazlan, nothing. So the brisa, which the Reisha and the Sefer of the brisa, which they talk about punishment, are only talking about making a false shvua. So you're going to ask yourself, what do you need the Reisha and the Sefer? I'll tell you why. What's the halacha if a shomer chinam You go to Shamachinam and you say, "Where's my item?" And he says, "It's stolen." And I say, and I take you to court, and you lie under oath. What's the halacha? So I told you there's two halachas. One, if Edom come, you pay kefil. Two, if you admit it, you're chayiv for the gneva, and you're chayiv for chaimish, and you bring a carbon. That's why you need both parts of the brisa. The Reisha and the Seifa are telling you these two separate halachas. So, meaning, lower the heat a little bit. Meaning both the Reisha and the Seifa are talking about a case of Shavua. Because you're only punished if you make a Shavua. So what do you need a Reisha and the Seifa for? Because there's two separate halachas when you swear under oath falsely. One is if you admit you bring a chaimish and a carbon. Two, if Edom come, you pay kefil. Hence the two parts of the brisa. But there's no indication that you'll be punished at all for merely denying the item without swearing falsely. Kan shahoida, kan shabo Edom. Also Edom chayiv ba'insin. Adu oide chayiv b'keren chaimish ve'ashem. Okay. But we're going to continue in Rav Shesh's Chiddush. Again, Rav Shesh's Chiddush is that if a shomer says the item is stolen, doesn't swear falsely, but merely denies having the item, Kaifer b'pikaden nasa gazlan. You're a gazlan right away. That's Rav Shesh's Chiddush. Here's the problem. Mosiv Rami Bar Chama. Rami Bar Chama says, I have a question. This is a Mishnah in Shavuos. Now, the general rule of oaths are the defendant swears. The plaintiff doesn't swear and collects. Meaning, if you say I owe you $1,000 and I say I don't, who swears? You don't swear and collect. I swear and defend. That's the general rule. That's the pasuk. The indication of the pasuk. The pasuk says that the one who's the defendant, he swears and he's scot clean. The plaintiff doesn't swear to collect. The defendant swears to protect. That's the rule. But what if? So generally, the defendant swears, not the plaintiff. But what if the defendant is a liar? He's a liar. He's proven to lie. So then the Torah says, then the plaintiff swears. Because if the other guy is a liar, we're not going to have him swear. I mean, he's not trustworthy. So the Mishnah over there is explaining examples of someone who is basically puzzle for Shavua. Puzzle Eidus, puzzle for Shavua. What's the example there? Echad Shavuos Eidus, if he previously swore falsely regarding testimony. Echad Shavuos HaPikadin, or he swore falsely as a Shemechinam. He said he lied under oath as saying it was stolen. Va'afilu Shavu Ashav, and even if it was an oath, it's called Shu Ashav. It's an oath that's even if he swears not about something important. But that's not for now. What do you see over here? When does a person become puzzled from making a Shavua? If he lied under oath. But according to Rav Sheshes, why does it have to be that he lied under oath? Even if he didn't lie, merely denying the item makes you a gazlan. So again, I'm a Shemer Chinam. What do I have to do to make me puzzle Eidus and puzzle from Shavua? So says the Mishnah, if you lie under oath, if you say under oath that the item was stolen, when it was your puzzle. But according to Rav Sheshes, you don't need to lie under oath. Merely saying the item was stolen without a Shavua makes you a gazlan. So why does the Mishnah have to say that an example of someone who's puzzled for making a Shavua is where he lied under oath? I don't need to be lying under oath. Merely claiming the item was stolen, even without a Shavua, makes you a gazlan. So why do you have to say that he lied under oath? Even before that, he's puzzled.
We're talking lying under oath or saying that the object was stolen in a previous case?
Previous case. We're saying, in a previous case, he's proven to be a gazlan, or he can't oath now. What's an example of what he did in the past? In the past, he lied under oath. Why does he have to lie under oath? Merely saying the item was stolen makes you a gazlan. In the previous case. So the Gemara says, V'misa b'kfiru d'ivsalei. So the answer is, we're going to tweak this. When Rav Shesha said that if, again, you're a Shemer Chinam, I give you a laptop to watch, a week later I say, hey, can I have it back? And you say it's stolen. Says Rav Sheshes, even if you don't end up going to court, merely saying it's stolen, you're a gazlan. Says the Gemara, but wait, so then what's the problem with what's the issue, what's the deal with that Mishnah in Shavuos? So the Gemara says, no, Amri, Hacham ha'eskina dekoy ba'agam, d'lav kfiruhu desaver ishtamitna le ad'izna masina le. You know the answer is, you know when you're considered a gazlan by denying the item? When the item is in your domain. Meaning, here's very simple. Menashe, I give Menashe my laptop. And I say, hey, you're my Shemer Chinam on my laptop. A week later, I say, can I have it back? You say it's stolen, but it wasn't. No lying under oath, but you claim that it was stolen. Says Rav Sheshes, you're a gazlan. When the laptop is in your house. Meaning, if the laptop is in your property, you can hand it to me right now, and you claim it was stolen, that's an act of gezela. But let's say what happened was, your son needed a laptop for work. Not to use it, but he needed to hold on to a laptop. So you gave it to your son. So then by you claiming it was stolen is not actually an act of theft. You're just trying to buy time. You just want to give yourself a couple hours to get it back. You don't want to say that it's not in your domain because then I'm going to yell at you. So you say, hey, it was stolen, with the intention of giving it back. So says Rav Sheshes, when do I say that saying the item is stolen is an act of Geneva? When the item is in your domain. So if it's in your domain, you can hand it to me and you say it's stolen, that's an act of theft. But if the item is outside of your domain, let's say it's a cow and it's in, you let the cow go to the swamp, which you shouldn't have. So then you say it's stolen, it's not an act of theft, because you're just trying to buy time, and you're saying, listen, I'm going to go get it. So that's when Rav Sheshes agrees that it's not an act of theft. So the Mishnah in Shavuos, which implies that not an act of theft, is talking about a case where you denied the item and the item was not present. Teid, I'll prove it to you. Rav Idi Bar Ravin says, HaKoifer b'milveh kashal edus. If you deny taking a loan, meaning, let's say I give you a loan and I say, hey, can I get it back? And you say, I don't know what you're talking about. That's similar to trying to buy time, because a loan is like the item going out. Says the halacha kashal edus. Why? Because it's just buying time. It's not an act of theft. But bipikaden, if I give you an item to watch and you say it's not there, that's pasal edus. So you see this indication that not every time denying it is pasal edus. It depends on whether the item is around or not. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to ask a question on Rav Sheshes. We're going to introduce us to one of the answers. One of the answers is going to take us the rest of the Amud. The answer is a wild answer because it's not what you'd expect. It seems to be against concepts in the Torah, and we'll get to this. Again, Rav Shesh's point is that by merely claiming the item is stolen without a shvuah, you're a gazlan. Here's the problem. Ha'amar Ilfa. Ilfa said this line, which is a cryptic line, but Ilfa's line is shvuah koina. When you swear, you're koina. Now, what does that mean, shvuah koina? So the Gemara understands shvuah de kanya, kfir like kanya. You know what it means? Shvuah koina. It means that by swearing under oath falsely, that's when you acquire being a gazlan. But before that, you're not a gazlan. So it's not like Rav Sheshes. Rav Sheshes says that you're a gazlan even without swearing. But Ilva said you only acquire, meaning acquire the name gazlan, by swearing. By denying it, you're not a gazlan. So are you a gazlan or not? So that's the question. So we're going to give two answers. The first answer is not really relevant to us. The second answer is going to take us into a whole different place. First answer, Hachanami de Kamma Agam. First answer is, when, again, Rav Sheshes said that if you claim the item is stolen even without swearing, you're a gazlan. Ilfa indicates not like that. You know what the answer is? The item is not in your domain. As we said before, if the item is in your domain, if the laptop is in your house and you claim that it's stolen, that's an act of theft. But if the item is not in your domain, then you're just buying time. So when Ilfa said claiming the item is stolen, it is not an act of theft, it's talking about the item is not in your domain, and you're just trying to buy time.
This is a previous case.
No, this is this case. We're no longer in that previous case. This case.
So again,
Is claiming the item stolen an act of theft without swearing? Rav Sheshes says yes, Ilfa indicates no.
Again, we're not talking about the previous case, we're talking about this case.
The previous case is only relevant because then it makes you a gazlan. I'm talking about whenever it's happened, are you a gazlan by claiming the item is stolen?
Okay.
So the answer is, it depends. Is the item in your domain? If the item is in your domain, you can hand it to me and you say it's stolen, that's an act of theft. If the item is not in your domain and you have to go get it, then saying it's stolen is just trying to buy time. That's the first answer. The second answer is very wild, and it's going to take us down a complicated rabbit hole. Yeah?
That means that he says that it's not in my domain.
No, he doesn't say that. He says it's stolen.
It's stolen.
That's his way of buying time to try to get it.
Right.
It's not an act of theft.
But if it was in his house when he said,
Then he's clearly trying to steal it. Right? So the Gemara says, Ibai same another answer. The answer could be that Shvuah, that Ilfa did not mean this discussion at all. Again, Rav Sheshes was referring to a case where you say the item is stolen when you're a Shai Mechina without swearing. Do you make a gazlan or not? That's that discussion. Ilfa said the following line. It's a cryptic line. He said, Shvuah kaina. Making a Shvuah acquires it. We thought, what does that mean? We thought it meant is, swearing falsely acquires you the name gazlan. The answer is that's not what Ilfa is talking about at all. Ilfa is referring to the following halacha, and that is, if a person swears that the item is stolen, he is no longer going to be punished. He acquires it, meaning, if you swear that the item was stolen from you, then the halacha is, you're exempt from whatever happens in the future. So if you bring Eidim in the future, not my problem, I already swore. We trust my oath. Now, let me explain, the rationale behind that is that if I swear that the item is stolen, you bring Eidim, that it's not stolen, who's to say the Eidim? We trust the Shvuah over the Eidim. Now, here's the problem with this Shita, and we're going to analyze this for this the Amud. The problem is, this is like against concepts in the Torah. I just told you that if I... Well, more than that, it's that there's a concept in the Torah that if a shomer chinam says the item is stolen, swears, and then Eidim come forward, he pays kefil. So, like, how could you say that by swearing you're forever absolved? That's not true. You pay kefil in such a case. So we're gonna get to that. We will slowly whittle down this shita to the point where it's not talking about all scenarios. But the Gemara says like this: perhaps when Ilfa said shvuah kaina, he's not referring to our discussion at all. He was referring to the following concept. The Kidder Rav Huna. Dam Rav Huna Marav. Rav Huna Marav says, Manali biyadecha. I say, you owe me $100. You have $100 of mine is by your property. And the other one says, I swear I got nothing. So I say, Menashe, you owe me $1,000. You have my money. And Menashe gets up and he swears, I do not have your money. Boom. Says the Gemara, even if Eidim come and say that he's incorrect, he's guilty, potter. He doesn't have to pay. Because we go with his shvuah. Now, meaning shvuah kaina, shvuah acquires, shvuah wins. Now again, the very strange, because we've had so many concepts that like the Eidim prove you're a liar. So let me explain the rest of the Amid. We're going to have questions and we're going to start trying to wiggle out by saying, well, maybe that case that you're chayiv is where you didn't swear in court, or you swore without being asked to swear. But if you swear in court after being asked to swear in court, absolved. But eventually we're going to prove it. This is Kneged the Torah. There is a pasuk in the Torah that says that if I give you an item to watch, and then I say where is it, and you say it's stolen, and you swear it's stolen, and then I procure Eidim that it's not, your chayiv kefil. So this concept that just by swearing you win, not true. So what we're eventually going to say is that this is not in all circumstances. This is in a very limited scope. The Gemara says like this. Shenemar v'lokach bailam v'lo yishalem kivin shekiblu abaylam shvua. Once you swear, shuv ein le mishalem mammon. You never have to pay. That's the shita. Now let's analyze the shita. Gufa, Amar Rav Huna Marav. Rav Huna Marav said, Manali biyadecha. I say you owe me $100, or you have my money. V'alo oimer ein lech biyadi klum. And you say, I don't have your money. I don't know what you're talking about. V'nishba, and you swear that you don't have my money. V'bo Eidim. I bring Eidim to prove that you're guilty and that oath was a lie. Potter. You're potter from payment. Shenemar v'loka b'ayl yishalem kivin shekiblu b'ayl shvuah shev in mishalem mammon. This is the shita of a Rav. This is Rav Huna Amarav's. This is Rav's opinion. A tremendous chiddush. Now let's start picking apart and plucking at it to the point where it's going to get very, very limited. Okay. Amarava. Mistalva milsa derav b'milva deloitzanin apikadon b'shusi demarikai. Rava says, I think Rav's opinion only makes sense if you swear about a loan. But if you swear about an item, like my item's in your house, like again, the case is, I go to Menashe and say, you have something of mine. And he's like, no, I don't. And I say, you swear? He swears in court. And then I bring Eidim. That's like, it's in his house. Potter. So says Rava, I get it when it comes to a loan. Because the money is just gone. Money is money. But if like you have my laptop, like I see it, give me back my laptop. But says the Gemara, Halikim, but I swear by God, Amarav afilu bikadon. No, Rav said a statement, even by a pikadon, even by an item. The chiksiv krab bikadon ksiv. So Rav's opinion is across the board. Now let's start pulling questions on Rav. Yosef Rav Nachman Karmelo Shmaita. Eis v'Racha Bar Minyumil Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman asks the following question. The question is as follows: Heichon Pikdaini. I say to you, where's I gave you an item to watch. Where is it? Amrli Avad. You say it's lost. It got lost, meaning in an onus. An animal came in and took it. Mashbiachani. I say, you swear. Amar Amen. Yeah, I swear. So he swears. I bring Eidim that say that the guy ate the item, whatever, the guy used the item. Mishalim esa keren. You pay keren. Boom. You pay. What do you mean? I thought he swore. I thought once you swear, you never have to pay. Over here, you pay. Let's keep going. Let's say instead of me bringing Eidim, you admit to it. Then you pay keren, chaimish, and asham. So what do you see? You see very clearly. You swore, and you're not absolved. So how could Rav say by swearing you're never going to have to pay? It's not true. So says the Gemara, instead of just saying, well, Rav wasn't talking about, we try to pivot, like a dodge and weave, like boxing. So Amalek Rav Nachman, You know the case is you didn't swear in court. You swore outside of court. Meaning if you would have sworn in court, pater forever. This case where it says you swear and you have to pay, is you swore outside of court. Okay? So it's not a full shvuah, meaning it's like a half a shvuah because it's outside of court. Okay, let's keep going. Let's pull that apart. You're telling me that Bryce is talking about a case where you made oaths outside of court? Let's go to the end of the Bryce. Next case. I said, Menashe, where's that? I gave you an item to watch. Where is it? Nignav. It was stolen. You swear? Yeah, I swear. But then I bring Eidim that show that you took it. It was not stolen. It was stolen by you. You took it. You know what the halach is? You pay kefil because I told you it's a pasuk in the Torah that if a shomer chinam claims that it's stolen and then he's proven and he swears and he's proven to steal it, he pays kefil. Okay, and let's say instead of swearing, he's made himself. Now you're going to tell that clear. You swore and you have to pay. You're going to tell me, it's outside of court. There's no kefil for a shvuah outside of court. There's only kefil for a shvuah inside of court. So this shvuah happened inside court. And you still have to pay. So how could Rav say that your pater is mafurish in the Torah, that you have to pay? And don't tell me it's outside of court, because it's kefil. Kefil's only in court. So what's going on? So Amarle, Rav Achbar said to Rav Nachman, I could give you a bad answer. And that's Reisha Chutz LeBezdin, Seifa Bebezdin. The first part is talking about in court, the second part about out court. I don't want to give you a bad answer. So you know what the answer is? Both cases are talking about in Bezdin. So how could Rav reconcile his concept with this Mishnah? The answer is, when Rav said that if you make an oath, you're pater forever, that's if Bezdin tells you to swear. See, there could be two cases. I could take Menashe to court as my shomer chinam. Sorry, you're the shomer chinam of the day. I take you to court and I say, where's my item? He said, it's stolen. I say, you swear? And even without me saying, he's like, I swear. If you just jump to swear, it's not going to absolve you. But if, let's say, I say, where's my item? They say, it's stolen. And I say, Bezdin, get involved. Bezdin says to you, Menashe Weiss, would you like to swear? And then you're swearing because they tell you to swear, that absolves you. For whatever reason, a shvuah that's enacted by Bezdin in Bezdin is stronger than a shvuah that's in Bezdin where you choose to jump. Okay. So it's again, it's like, so you're telling me that so right now, by the way, the case of the Torah, when the Torah says you have to be kefil, it's talking about a case where in Bezdin, but you chose to make an oath, and that matters. Okay, let's keep going. We're still going to keep whittling. So let's keep going. Amle Rami Bar Chama Rav Nachman Michti. Now, first of all, Rami Bar Chama is like answering what Rav would say this. So he says, Rami Bar Chama says to Rav Nachman Michti, Rav L'Sviril, you don't hold like Rav. Like this whole thing is shita of Rav. You don't hold this way. Meshkuni Nashach ad Rav Lamelich. Why are you like trying? Why are you making you so like complicating yourself, like twisting yourself to answer for Rav? You don't even hold that way. I mean, sometimes when a Rav defends, like Rav Nachman is answering for Rav, it sounds like he kind of holds that way. He's like, you never hold that way. So Amarle, he responded, L'frushi l'Rav, the Rav ha'chamitartzim tamina. He's like, I don't hold that way. I'm just explaining how Rav would paskin. That's it. I'm just telling you how Rav would answer the Gemara. Now, Harav Krakamer. Now, let's say you disagree with Rav. Rav brought a pasuk. What do you do with the pasuk if you don't hold of Rav? Amri, Kral l'chol nishban shabatar nishban v'lo mishal min huda asa v'lokach baya v'lo yishalem mishal v'lo shalem v'lo nishba. This is the halach I mentioned to my father before, that the classic rule in the Torah is the defendant swears and is absolved as opposed to the plaintiff swearing and taking. That's what the other mefarshim do with that pasuk. Rav uses this pasuk to say the special halacha that once you make a shavua, you're pater. Everyone else who disagrees with them, what do they do with the pasuk? They tell you the pasuk is telling you that when you have a machlokes in a plaintiff defend the defendant swears and walks away scot clean, as opposed to the plaintiff swearing and taking. Right? I say you owe me $1,000. I'm the plaintiff, you're the defendant. Someone's going to swear. I could swear and collect. You could swear and defend. We let you swear and defend. That's how you use that pasuk. But Rav uses that pasuk to say that if you once you make an oath, you're pater legamri. Now let's continue in the questions on Rav, and eventually we're gonna very much whittle Rav Shita. Because Rav right now is saying that anytime you swear, you're never gonna have to pay afterwards, even if Eidim come forward. And by the way, Rav even takes it further. They understand Rav is to say that even if you yourself are moida, you don't have to pay. So if I take you to court and I say, where's my item? And you're my shemachin, where's my item? You say it's stolen. So according to Rav, if you swear and I bring Eidim, you potter. Connect the Torah, we'll deal with it. But Rav's going to take it further. It sounds like from Rav, the second you swear the item is stolen, even if you admit you're potter, because swearing, you're done. Which is, again, it's very hard to understand. So it says the Gemara, Masav Rav Hamnuna, you're telling me that according to Rav, the second you swear, you're absolved entirely. Whether you admit, whether Eidim come forward, you'll never be chayiv. How could that be? Masav Rav Hamnuna. Rav Hamnuna, who's a student of Rav, asked the following question. It says, let's say I take a shaymechinim to court, and for whatever reason, you swear 5 times. So every hour, you get up in court and you swear, I didn't take it. I didn't take it. I didn't take it. I didn't take it. And then what the halach is, what happens? Whether you swear in court or not, the cover I love, chayiv, and then you, and then then we're going to see that. Let's say I bring Eidim to prove that you're a liar, or you admit chayiv al kol achas v'achas. You have to bring a fifth and a carbon for each oath. So if you admit to it, you'll have to bring 5/5 and 5 carbonas. Why? Says the Gemara, Matam, because after every time you could admit. So what do you see? If Rav is right that the second you swear, that's it, game over, then why are you chayiv for 5 oaths? First of all, why are you chayiv if you admit afterwards? Question number 1. But 2, why are you chayiv for 5 oaths? The second you swear, game over, you're done. The fact that you can constantly swear and constantly be chayiv, swear 5 times, be chayiv 5 times, indicates that even after you swear, the game is not over. We're still in the middle of this game. We're still in the middle of figuring out who's right and who's wrong. Says the Gemara. So what's going on over here? How could Rav be right and this halacha be right? That according to Rav, the second you swear, game over, you can't be chayiv if you're modeh. You can't be chayiv if you bring Eidim. But how come if you swear 5 times, you chayiv 5 times? What do you mean? If after one swear the game's over, then the game's over. You can't be chayiv for another 4 shavuos. So says the Gemara, "Hu ma'asav hu mefarkel l'tzad ketani hishbiya lav chutz lebezdin ubebezdin kafas." So he pushes it away. The case is where you didn't swear in court. You either swore outside of court, which is not a real shavua to absolve you, or you swore in court, but you chose to swear as opposed to the bezdin telling you to swear. Meaning, Rav is getting out of it that according to Rav, you're only absolved. Game is only over if you're in court and bezdin tells you to swear. So when the Brisa says in court, it means in court, but you chose to swear, as opposed to having the bezdin make you swear.
Psychologically, because it makes it sound better.
Yeah.
Because Bezdin wouldn't make you swear 5 times.
That's also true. Here's the problem. Let's keep going. That was Rav Hamnuna's question, and then Rav Hamnuna sort of, again, he dodged and weaved. Masav Rava asks, again, direct question, and now we're going to stop. We're going to put this all away. Masav Rava, Balabay Shaitan Tainas Gana Pipikadin. Okay, I give Shemachinam an item, and I say, where is it? And he says, it's stolen. V'nishma, and he swears. So according to Rav, by the way, done, game over, can't be chayiv. But what did I tell you? I told you the Torah says that if Eidim come forward, you're chayiv kefil, and if you're moida, you're chayiv keren and chaimish and an asham. So Rav can't argue on the Torah, and this brisa just backs up the Torah rule. What's the rule? V'hoida, if after swearing you admit it, ubo Eidim, and there are Eidim. So which one is it? When Eidim come, you get kefil. When you admit it, you chayiv keren, chaimish and an asham. So what do you chayiv over here? So the answer is, well, when did you admit and when did the Eidim come forward? If you admit before the Eidim come forward, so the admission is all that matters. So Mashalm Karen B'chamish V'asham, but if after the Eidim come forward and say you're guilty, then you admit. So Eidim come forward and say you stole it, and then you're like, fine, I stole it. You know what the halacha is? Because Eidim said you stole it, you have to be kefil. But because you admitted, you have to do Karen, Chaimish, and an Asham. So you have to be Karen, kefil, Chaimish, and Asham. That's the halacha. Okay, so here's the problem. How could Rav say that the second you swear, you're done, game over, when this is a concept in the Torah? So you know what the answer is? Instead of saying it's out of Bezdin, it's no. Like Rav Hamnuna was dodging me. The answer is no. Rav did not say his halacha in all circumstances. Rav only said it in a very limited capacity. What did Rav say? Elam Rava said, Kol hoida, Loishna toin tainis ganev, loishna toin tainis avad, loyom Rav. First of all, when Rav said that if you swear you'll never have to pay, Rav agrees that if you admit it, you have to pay. When Rav said game over, he did not refer to admission. So if you swear and then you admit, of course you're chayiv. That's from the Torah. Karen Chomesh and Osham. 100%. Secondly, if you swear the item is stolen and you're a shomer chinam or a shomer, and then Eidim come forward, you're also chayiv kefil. You want to know why? Because the Torah says so, and Rav is not arguing on the Torah. So what was Rav talking about when he said that if you swear game over, you're not going to be chayiv? We're talking about a case where the shomer chinam says that it was lost. You see, when the shomer chinam says that it was stolen, and then Eidim come forward, the pasuk says kefil. What if he says that it's lost? That the pasuk is never referring to. So it's talking about dafka, a case where it's a shomer chinam, and he says the item was stolen, that was lost, not stolen, and he was not an admit, and he didn't admit, and then Eidim come forward. That's when he's potter. So that's how Rava whittles down. So Rav Hamnuna, a student of Rav, had questions, but he dodged and weaved. But Rava says no more dodging and weaving. Tear it all down. When Rav said his statement, he was not referring to being moed at all, being moed your chayiv, and he was not referring to tain as ganav, and then Eidim come forward, that you chayiv kefil. He was dafka talking about a case where your tain is ovad, and then Eidim come forward, that's when you're potter. So Rav sort of tore down the whole shita and made it a lot more limited. So says the Gemara, just to finish the sugya, the next sugya is a lot easier. So just to finish up the sugya, Rav Hamnuna, a student of Rav, asked a question and dodged and weaved. Rav asked the question, tore the whole thing down. So says the Gemara, Azul Rav Gamdav Amr Shmaita Kamid Rav Ashi. Amrle Rav Ashi said to him, Hashuma Rav Hamnuna Talmid de Rav, V'yodadam Rav Huna, de Rav Hoida, Ukamoisav Hoida, V'atam et Hoida Yom Rav. Rav Hamnuna asked the question from a case where you swear, and then you admit. And he didn't tear the whole thing apart, he just dodged and weave. And you have a similar question, you tear the whole thing down. Rav Hamnuna is a Talmud. Isn't Rav Hamnuna probably right that Rav said his opinion even by Moida? So the Gemara says no. Amle Ravacha Sabla Ravashi, Rav Hamnuna Hachi Kakashale. Go to the next page. Just to finish up the sugya. This last part is a little difficult. Rav Hamnuna was bothered by this. Rav's opinion is that if a person says the item is stolen and then Eidim come forward, he's potter. We thought originally that he said the same opinion if he was Moida, that if he's Moida, he's also potter. Rav Hamnuna asked the question. The answer is Rav Hamnuna's question was never from Moida. Rav Hamnuna's point is, if you're Moida, you're chayiv, because the Torah says so, then kavachayim you're chayiv if Eidim come forward. What was really bothering Rav Hamnuna was not the case of admitting. Admitting, we know that you're going to be chayiv, because the Torah says if you admit you're chayiv. Rav never questioned that. Rav Hamnuna, by quoting that case, was saying like this: if I admit I'm chayiv, then I'm definitely chayiv if Eidim come forward. Makes more sense. The Gemara says, "I amr b'shlam nishba asu Eidim chayiv am dul hachim chayiv lekarban shavu b'sraisa. Howev yachal achzel lahoidus. Eli amr ki asu Eidim potter mi kamididi lo asu sahadi misadi potter v'anon nikin chayiv karban shavu hoel v'yachal achzel lahoidus hashem yeloyodi." The point is, in the case where the person swore 5 times, the fact that he's going to be punished 5 times, he said, because he could admit, if Eidim coming forward exempts you, it does not make sense that you should be chayiv 5 times. That was the question, but again, he dodged and weaved, but Rava tore the whole thing apart. Okay, new topic, a lot easier. I'll try to finish the Amid, might do most of it, I'll do my best. We have about 15 minutes, I should be able to run through this properly. Okay, now, very, very simple, the halacha is like this. If a person steals, you chayiv kefil. If you steal and then you slaughter the animal, you chayiv dalad v'hei. We know that if you're a toyin tainas ganef, if you're a shomer chinam, and then you swear that it's stolen, and then Eidim come forward and say you stole it, you chayiv kefil. Here's the question: what if you're a shomer chinam, and you say the item is stolen, and you swear, and then Eidim come forward and say that you actually slaughtered the animal? Says the Gemara, you're also chayiv dalad v'hei. Meaning, we're mirror imaging geneva to a shomer chinam stealing it. To ganef, to toyin tainas ganef. And the same way by a regular ganef, it's kefil and dalad v'hei. So to a toyin tainas ganef, it's kefil, dalad v'hei. Says the Gemara, Amrav Chibar Abba, Amrav Yechanan, a toyin tainas ganef pipikoden. If a shomer chinam claims that it was stolen and lies, but he actually stole it himself, and Eidim come forward to prove it, Misham Tashumi kefil, he pays kefil. And if it was proven that he actually slaughtered the animal, then Tabachu Malchum Misham Tashumi dalad v'hei. He pays dalad v'hei, meaning dalad v'hei is not just by theft, it's by a toyin tainas ganef as well. What's the source? Hoyel v'ganef Misham Tashumi kefil. Well, think about it. We're comparing toyin tainas ganef to a ganef. By a regular ganef, you break into my house, you're chayiv kefil and dalad v'hei. So to a tointain is ganaf, which is a shomer chinam who claims that the item is stolen, kefil and dalad v'hei. Hoyev v'ganim b'sham tashumi kefil, v'tointain is gal b'sham tashumi kefil. Ma ganif shum shalom kefil, tavich umach b'sham tashumi al v'hei. After tointain is ganaf b'bikadin, kishum shalom tashumi kefil, tavich umach b'sham tashumi dalad v'hei. Very simple. So a tointain is ganaf, which is again a shomer chinam claiming it was stolen and lying about it and swearing about it, but he was proven to be the thief. We're just saying that that's the same halacha as a classic thief. Okay? Malaganif, wait a minute. Shekim Nisham Tashlumi Keva Shaloi B'Shvua, Tarmatain Ganif, Sheim Nisham Tashlumi Keva Al B'Shvua. Wait a minute. You're comparing a ganif, a taintanis ganif to a ganif, but there's one major halachic difference. A regular ganif is chayiv kefil without swearing, because you can't get a ganif to swear, he just steals. But a taintanis ganif, or shemechinam, is only chayiv kefil if he swears under oath. So how do you compare the two? There's a major halachic difference. So the answer is Amri, Hekeshehu. The answer is this halacha that we're comparing a ganif to a taintanis ganif is a hekesh. The ain mashivin al hekesh, and we don't ask questions on hekesh. We just do it. Says the Gemara. The meaning, so the concept that a taintanis ganif pays kefil is learned out from a hekesh from ganif, and once it's a hekesh, so then the halachas are going to be the same, and therefore a taintanis ganif is going to do dalad v'hei as well. So the Gemara says, well, honey, chulman amar chad beganif v'chad b'taintanis ganif shapir. This is a sugi that we had earlier. This is about a month ago, 40 days ago, that one pasuk is referring to ganif, and one pasuk is referring to taintanis ganif, and we makish the two, and there's a hekesh. Then it's beautiful. But there's an opinion that holds that both psukim are talking about taintanis ganif, in which case there is no hekesh connecting taintanis ganif to ganif. So if there's no hekesh, how do I know a taintanis ganif pays dalad v'hei? The answer is Amri, ganif ha-ganif. It's from the extra hay. The extra hay is to tell you that the pasuk is talking about taintanis ganif, but the extra hay is to include a ganif as well. Therefore, because it's in the same pasuk, there is a hekesh comparing the two, and the same way a ganif does dalad v'hei, so to a taintanis ganif does dalad v'hei as well. So one halacha right now, very clever, next Gemara is very clever. Right now we're saying that again, a taintanis ganif, which is again, anyone who's unclear about that, that means that if I give you an item to watch, and I say, you're a shemechinam, and I say, can I have it back? And you say it was stolen, and you lie, you swear under oath, and you're a liar, and Eidim come forward and prove that you lie, you pay kefil, and now the chiddush is, if we could prove that you slaughtered the animal, dalad v'hei. Here's the problem. What did the Brisa say? Heichon shori, I give you my item, I give Menashe my item to watch, and I say, where is it? And you say, Nignav, it was stolen. Do you swear? Amar Amin, I swear. And he's a liar. But Eidim come forward and prove that you ate the ox. What's the halacha? Mishalem kefil. Let me ask you a question. How do you eat an ox? You shecht it, right? We're talking about from Yidden. You shecht it. So why are you chayiv kefil? You should be chayiv dalad v'hei. Again, we have Eidim prove that you ate the animal. You can't eat the animal without shechting it. So if you're telling me that a taintanis ganif pays dalad v'hei, then how come over here you don't pay dalad v'hei? You had Eidim that came forward. Now the Eidim didn't see the slaughter, but the Eidim saw you eat it. How are you going to eat an animal without shechita? You know what the answer is? You know the answer is? This is a ganif. He ate the animal without shechting it. Right? You're only chayiv dalad v'hei if you shecht it. So there's no Eidim that saw the slaughter, but the Eidim that saw you eat the meat. How are you going to eat the meat without shechting it? The answer is, we're trying to find a situation where you can eat the animal without shechting it. So how do you do that? Again, there's no Eidim. There are Eidim that prove that the shomer chinam ate the meat. And it says kefil. Where's dalad v'hei? Now, there are no Eidim that saw the slaughter, but there are Eidim that saw the eating the meat. Isn't that synonymous? The answer is no. The case is you ate the animal without shechting, you shot in the animal in the head. That's not a frum thing to do. It's also not a frum thing to be a ganif and to steal and to lie under oath. This guy is, this is what he does. Okay. So the Gemara says the case is where you ate a nevela. Now just here into the for a couple lines, the Gemara is going to ask a question. Again, the case is where we have Eidim that prove that you ate it. Now, we assumed eating it is synonymous with shechita. So why did you chayiv dalad v'hei? The answer is we're looking for a case where you ate it without shechita. So the most obvious answer is nevela. So the Gemara just wants to know, why didn't you give other answers? Lishni leikagan shalchu treifa. What about a treifa? Why can't it be that you ate a treifa? Which, even if you shecht a treifa, you're now chayiv dalad v'hei. So the Gemara says, Kid Rav Meir, because this follows Rav Meir, the Mashchita Shenaroy Shma Shchita. Rav Meir's shita is that if you slaughter a treifa, you're chayiv daled v'hei. So saying that you slaughtered it, but it's a treifa, is not going to exempt you. We're looking for a situation where you're eating the meat without a shchita. So, and we want to try to find it in such a way, meaning we want to find a way where you ate the meat and you shechted it, but you're not chayiv daled v'hei. So we couldn't figure out the answer. So we said, you know what, you ate it without shchita. So Gemara says, why don't you say that you shechted it, but it's a treifa? A treifa is not chayiv daled v'hei. The answer is, Rav Meir holds it is. No good. Okay. V'lishnei ben pekua. What about a ben pekua? A ben pekua is that if you shecht an animal and you find a fetus inside, you can eat the fetus without shechita. So maybe they saw you eating meat. So if you ate meat, you should be chayiv daled v'hei. The answer is you didn't shecht it. How is a Jew going to eat meat without shechita? So we said it in Nevela. Why don't you say it's a ben pekua? A ben pekua doesn't need shechita. If you find a fully developed fetus in the womb, you don't need shechita. So maybe he ate the meat. And he did shecht it. If you shecht it, why didn't chayiv daled v'hei? The answer is it's a ben pekua. The Gemara says, Karav Meir, dam ben pekua tan shechita. There's a Meir shita is that a ben pekua needs shechita. So you would be chayiv daled v'hei. That can't be the answer. So the Gemara says, okay, v'lishni like going she'amar bedin v'amar l'tzein tein loy. Why don't you say this? Maybe the case is as follows. The Sher Mechina was given the animal. And I say, where is it? And he said, it's stolen. And he lies. And then Bezdin says, pay it back. But Edom come forward and Bezdin says, pay kefil. Then after Bezdin says, pay kefil, he shechted it. You know what the halacha is? If you shecht it after the Edom come forward, after Bezdin says you're chayiv, forget about the Edom. Bezdin says you're chayiv. Once Bezdin says you're chayiv, if you shecht it, you're not chayiv dal v'hei. Why? Dal v'hei is only for a ganif, not a gazlin. The second you're told to give it back, that's Bezdin saying, we know you stole it. So then if you slaughter it, you're a gazlin. So how come, why do you have to say the case is where he ate a nevela? Just say very simple. Really, you chayiv dal v'hei. So if you chayiv dal v'hei, why don't you chayiv dal v'hei in this case? So you told me it's because he ate a nevela, he never shechted it. Maybe he shechted it. But Bezdin had already said return the animal. Once Bezdin says return the animal, you're a gazlin. So you're not chayiv dal v'hei for a gazlin. That way he could have eaten the meat without being nevela. Damar Rava says, Tzeitain loy tavachu machar pater. My taima, kivan de paske lemilsa, v'tavachu machar, have a gazlin. Once you're told to return the item, you're a gazlin. The gazlin loy mishalim tashul mi'arei v'chamisha. Gazlin is not chayiv dal v'hei. Chayiv atelitin loy. Now, if Bezdin just said, they didn't say tzeitain loy, they just said you have to pay, that's not a full psak. Then tabach u'macher chayiv. My time kol kamad loy psik loy milsa katiganavu. So why don't you say that's the case? The Gemara's answer is, you know what? It could have said that case. It picked a nevela. It could have picked this case, and the Gemara says, I have another case it could have picked. The fact that it didn't pick this case is not indicative of anything. It picked one out of multiple options. Amri v'lotamech, according to you, that you're searching for alternative situations. Lishnei le b'shutiv shetavach shaloi midas chaver. You know what the case could have been? He's a partner, and he stole the animal from his partner, and he slaughtered it. You're not chayiv daled v'hei in that case either, because it's partially your animal when you slaughtered it. It picked one of two or three cases. Okay, let's start the next Gemara. I might review this next Gemara on Shabbos because it's such a short daf, but I want for the recording purposes, it's 8:28. We'll get to 8:35, then we'll stop. Just to finish up the daf. Amar Rav Chiya bar Abba, Amar Rav Yochanan. Hatoyin tainas ganav ba'aveda. Okay, let's say you find an item, a lost item. Okay, it has simonim. You find a cow that has simonim. I knock on your door and I say, "Hey, can I have the item?" Hashavas aveda, and you say, "It was stolen," and you lie. You know what the halacha is, and then Eidim come forward and prove that you're a liar. Mishalim tashumi kefil. You pay kefil. You stole a lost item, meaning even though you were never given it to watch, but you stole an item that you found. That's kefil as well. My taima d'chsiva kol aveda sheyomar. Okay, so just claiming the item. So again, the classic case of a shar mechinam is I give you the item to watch, I ask for it back, and you say it's stolen. You swear edim kefil. Now we're saying instead of me giving you an item to watch, you find the lost item. I knock on your door. I say, "Can I have it back?" And you say, "I don't know what you're talking about. It was stolen." Blah blah blah. Lie under oath. Kefil. Here's the problem. I'll say outside the cash, and then we'll see it inside. Right now, we're saying that there's kefil for finding a lost item. Here's the problem. The halacha is, if I give you an item to watch, you're a shemer chinam, and I ask for it back, and you swear that it's not you stole it, blah blah blah, liar, tain nisganaf, yichayev kefil. That's only true if I give you the item when I'm an adult. But if you were given an item to watch by a katan, for technical purposes, you are not going to be chayev kefil. Even if I give you the item when I'm younger, and then by the time you steal it, I'm an adult, potter. Here's the question. The pasuk says that a shomer chinam, the whole Torah tain is gone if the pasuk says ish, that he gave him someone to watch. The ish gave it to watch. Ein nesinas katan klum. If a katan gives a shomer chinam something to watch, he is not going to be chayiv kefil. Ein liyela shenasu kushu katan v'tavu shu katan. I only know that there's no kefil when I gave you the item to watch when I'm a katan, and I sued you in court to return the item when I'm a katan, all happening under bar mitzvah. But nasu kushu katan v'tavu kushu gadol. How do I know the halacha is? Let's say I give you an item to watch when I'm 10, and I ask for the item back when I'm 15. I'm already an adult. How do I know that there's still not going to be kefil because it was given to you when I'm a katan? Tamaloimer ada lekim yavei devar shnayim. That it has to be that I gave it to you as an adult and I sued you in court as an adult. The im issa, but now if you're telling me that this tain is gone for finding a lost object, tahavi nami kaveda. Let me ask you a question. I give you the item when I'm 10. Yeah? I ask for it back when I'm 15. I take you to court when I'm 15. And you say it's stolen. I say, swear to me. You swear. I bring Adim that you're a liar. No kefil. Why? Because you gave it to him when he's a katan. But if you find a lost object, you're chayiv. So how could me giving it as a katan be worse? If you find a lost object and I ask for it, I'm the owner. It's two different cases. There's Tain is Ganaf and there's a Shemin Aveda. You find a lost cow. I go to you in court and I say, hey, can I have it back? You say, it's stolen. I say, swear to me, but you actually stole it. What's the halacha? Kefil. So you're telling me that I give it to you when I'm a katan. That's no good because you gave it when I'm a katan. But if you were to find this object, you'd be chayiv. So how could me giving it as a katan be worse than you finding it? How could my interaction with you by handing it to you as a katan, you're like, oh, a katan, no good. But if you find the lost object, then you're chayiv. How can it be worse? The second answer is going to be, it is worse. So the Gemara gives two answers. You know what the case is? The case is where the person handed him when he's a katan, and the guy stole it when he was a katan. Meaning, the case is not where he's stolen and sued it, he's a gadol. Because if he took a stolen sued as a gadol, then it would be similar to a lost object. The case is, I gave it to you as a katan, you stole it when I'm a katan. Because you stole when I'm a katan, then there's no kefil. Aval kushu gadol, but what would the halacha be if I gave it to you when you're a kamma katan, and you stole it when I'm a gadol? There would be kefil. Then why doesn't the Brisa say that? The answer is, the answer is, put that in the Brisa. That's really what Brisa means. One more answer, and then we'll review this tomorrow on Shabbos. Rav Ashi Amar, you know what he says? Loi dami aveda ka'asi mikoyach ben das, haloy asi mikoyach ben das. You know what Rav Ashi says? Your whole assumption is flawed. What's your assumption? How come if you find a lost object, there's kefil, but if I give it to you when I'm a katan, how could that be worse? The answer is it is worse. Because when I give it to you when I'm a katan, it's coming from a katan. When you find a lost object, at least it's coming from a gadol. Meaning, yes, there is no act of giving, but at least it's coming from a gadol. Coming from a katan is taka worse. It's taka worse. Your assumption is, how can it be worse? The answer is, it's taka worse. All right, we'll stop here. Maybe we'll review that last point tomorrow. Bez Hashem. A regular